Feels like the world's falling down. I'll be there to lift you from the ground. Don't be afraid, just let me in. Love me and down. All that I say, your pain and the lies and all your secrets. I'll take them all, I'll be your keeper. Just run away, no need to stay alone now.
Record yourself right here.
Yeah. Well, no, here. You can, I want you to say, like, I was just watching the press conference of Anderson Cooper, and I wanted to make this video, and it probably will not make it nowhere, but I wanted to make this video just in case if something happens to me. I'm in the kitchen, and I was cleaning out the refrigerator, and I want to make this video that probably would be taken down, or that would probably not make it, but I want to make it anyhow. I was watching the press conference, or not press, I don't know what it was, with Anderson Cooper. Anyways, it's so scary because I've been saying it, and everybody is saying that I'm overreacting, that I'm tripping, my thing is, what's his first name?
Who?
The son-in-law.
I don't even know.
Okay, Nikolai. Anyways, Nikolai is in the White House. And y'all, I know people, it's like, okay, ha ha ha, funny, Nikolai. No, I swear. Like, I made a video about this, and Gary's aunt wrote me a beautiful letter, you know, saying if I'm afraid of the end of times is, you know, just you know, pray and, you know, get closer to God. And, you know, I feel like I'm very close to God. I'm saved. I do believe, you know, that Jesus died for my sins, that he is my Lord and Savior, my Alpha, Omega, beginning and end. I say that, but, like, okay, here, Gary, you take it over. I'm going to try to wash out the bowl so I can make some tuna salad.
Okay.
Tuna salad.
Yeah, what she's getting at is, let's see, where'd you leave off?
I was just saying, I didn't say his, I don't remember what his first name is.
Yeah, I can't remember, Donald Trump's son-in-law's first name. But what she's referring to is the movie Left Behind.
Yeah. Nikolai.
And Nikolai is, of course,
the Antichrist.
The Antichrist. And everybody knows that the mark of the beast is 666. Well, the building that he's being investigated over, where he's been trying to raise money for, or not, maybe not the business, but the business. The business is 666, which is the mark of the beast.
Yes.
So that makes it even scarier in the fact that we've kind of thought Donald Trump is probably being led by somebody, and we've kind of, in our minds, we kind of deduced if it wasn't Pence, that it very well could be the son.
Well, I thought it was Don Jr.
Don Jr., Pence, or just somebody else, and then we got to thinking about the son-in-law.
And because until then, I always said Pennywise was the blonde-headed woman. Pennywise.
Yeah. She calls her Pennywise. It's not Pennywise, but
Kellyanne.
Kellyanne, the one that does all the reports and comes to Donald Trump's defense.
And if y'all seen Left Behind, you will understand. I always said this. I was like, okay, she's blonde hair. She's very close to the president. And if you watch in all three movies, the trilogy of Left Behind, what it was is, like when everybody got sent back, it was the blonde-headed woman. Only the pilot, it was the pilot and the blonde-headed woman in a relationship. And then when he got saved, because his son and his wife got went to heaven, was one of the ones that got to go, and him and his daughter was left behind because they weren't Christians and all that. The blonde-headed woman then, got mad at the pilot dude because he got saved. I'm talking about the Kirk Cameron version of Left Behind. I haven't seen the Nicolas Cage version of Left Behind, so I don't know that one. I'm talking about the Kirk Cameron,
the original version. Left Behind, three movie series.
Yes, the trilogy, or whatever. And the blonde-headed woman that was having an affair with the pilot then went to the White House, and she was like the I can't even say. I want to say the secretary, which is, I don't know, Pennywise is out here, or Kellyanne is out here. She is like,
I think she was the press secretary.
Was she the press secretary?
Yeah, which is the exact same position.
Well, whoever she is.
Yeah.
And then she ended up, like at the end of the movie, the pilot still was trying to save her and all that, and she's like, it's too late. And then she pointed to her stomach, and she was pregnant by Nikolai. That's what I'm getting at. And I'm not saying Kellyanne is, or Pennywise, as I call her, is pregnant by Donald Trump. I'm just saying the coincidences, and not even Donald Trump. Okay, let's say that Kushner becomes president because of because in the movie Lou Ross Jr. was the president, and then I don't remember if he got dethroned. Like, I don't remember what happened. But I've been saying that when they was in the talk, when was it? Like 08, 09 or something, when they was talking about bringing everybody's current to one
currency, yeah.
One currency.
One world currency.
Like, and we were talking about that. And everybody thinks that I'm tripping. Yes, I have a very vivid imagination, but it's like, I do have vivid imagination, but if something looks like a frog to me, sounds like a frog, it smells like a frog, I'm going to say it's a freaking frog. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, anybody, if you want to go back and kind of reference to what we're talking about, a little more detail, get in the Bible, read Revelation from beginning to end, and I think you too will see where all this is playing out in real life now.
Like I said,
it's a very scary time for us.
For the letter to Gary's aunt. I'm not mentioning her name because I don't know if she wants to be known, but I do. That was a very beautiful letter. I loved it, and I really I made a video saying that people don't get handwritten letters mailed in the mailbox, and I really enjoyed it. But yes, I am saved. Yes, I do believe in Jesus. Yes, I do. I know he died for my sins. That's why I am so conspiracy theory, and nobody believes me.
But unlike a lot of people believe that, well, you don't have to worry about it because at the end of time, you'll be taken up. That's where the left behind comes from. The ones in God will be taken up to heaven first. But if you study more about tribulation, it's not a tribulation until after you've gone through the trials. You have to go through the trials first, which means you're going to go through all this trouble before you're brought home.
And I always say,
and even if it is, it also says that he'll bring the children, the dead, the children will come first. And he's going to build an army to fight Satan's army out of his hardest, most true believers. Which means, even if it is so that you're going to be brought to him first, it's only going to be the ones that are Christians but not strong enough faith to withstand the forces of Satan's army.
And that's what I was saying in my other
belief. Now, I don't know that that's a fact, but it's in my belief what is what's going to
Let
happen.
them know. That's what I was saying in my other video. That I hope that I'm strong enough, but I can't.
And that's what that's what Marquita was saying in her other video when she said she hopes she's strong enough, but she's afraid. There's always that fear that, well, maybe I'm not strong enough.
Yeah.
And that's what causes the fear, is because she's afraid she's not strong enough, possibly.
And I hope that,
but
you know, my kids
she's strong in her faith. I'm very strong in mine. But it's going to be a very scary time, and it scares us even more for the kids. If the kids are still here, they're innocent. They're not going to understand what's going on. That's why I don't like war, because you got all these kids that are involved in it. They've not done nothing. They don't deserve to be going through the mental torture of being in war. I don't think even an 18-year-old is old enough. I don't think that there should be a draft. I don't think kids should be sent off to war. If there's going to be war, it needs to be the older adults. They're more mature. They're more rational about things, and they understand more, and they've lived a life. So if they die, hopefully they're right in Christ, and they know they're right in Christ, and they'll move on to a better life. And at the same time, I mean, it's just a scary time, and that's what we're really worried about. I wanted to add also that I was looking on the internet.
Oh, tell me the East, Gary.
In the Bible it says that the Antichrist will come out of the East. If you stop and think about where Israel is in comparison on the map to everything, what's east of that continent?
And you always said that.
If you go east of that continent, it's the U.S. and Canada. And I have said for years that I thought the Antichrist is going to come out of the U.S. I never could put my finger on why, other than, to me, logically, we're east of Israel. So that makes us the ones that are going to have the Antichrist coming out of them. So we need to be morally, ethically, and spiritually prepared for what's to come. Back to the Nikolai part in the Left Behind series. Nikolai was Russian, which we still can't rule out anything, because right now it's obvious that Russian has a lot of influence on our politics. That too is scary. And by that, I go back to what I was fixing to say about on the internet. Putin released a thing to CNN Press that he has they've developed a new weapon now that cannot be shot down or destroyed. It's a nuclear weapon, and the map that they used, they didn't say specifically, but they said it was shaped exactly like Florida. And they think that message was to Donald Trump because that's where his vacation home is. And they showed a film of it. It looks like this gigantic missile head. They show it sticking above the clouds with a lot of radiation coming on. What it's supposed to do is it goes over the area and blows itself up, and the radiation goes down and destroys everything. So that in itself is scary. And that may just be a shot because they don't want us investigating them, which is what's going on right now. They're trying to find where Russia influenced our votes and all that. I don't know whether it did or not, but I've said for a long time, because they're sitting there saying, well, why doesn't Trump punish them? Why doesn't Trump punish them? Well, history shows that, based on the Cold War. The Cold War was strictly Russia and U.S. We were the strongest forces on the whole world. We've got the strongest weapons and everything.
Well, mustard.
Okay. So by that, with them being the next strongest military and armed forces than us, it stands to reason that with North Korea developing their missiles and stuff, we need to keep Russia as an ally. That's how it stands to reason, because if they turn against us and they side with them, then China's going to side with them, and Japan, and it's pretty much going to be the U.S. versus the whole world. Still doesn't mean that's not what's going to happen, because we know through history we can't necessarily trust Russia either. So it's like we're in a lose-lose situation. What do you do? And I think
I'm sorry.
I think that us trying to Donald trying to throw the force off of Russia or whatever, I think that's a political move to try to get Russia back on our side, to ally with us like they did in World War II.
Yeah. How many pieces of bread do you want?
I don't know what are we fixing.
Chicken sandwiches.
Oh, I guess 4 make 2 sandwiches.
You want 2 sandwiches?
I guess so. Anyway, but if you've not seen the movies Left Behind by Kirk Cameron, go look at it, watch it, and see how accurate it is. I think God's influence was in the making of that movie, for those movies, that series of movies.
Like I said, not to discredit Nicolas Cage, I just haven't seen
it. I don't know about Nicolas Cage's version. It may be the exact same version, just different characters. But I don't know. Nicolas Cage is not necessarily known for his religious beliefs. I mean, heck, he's planning on buying a pyramid to be buried in. So I mean, but Kirk Cameron is known for his religious beliefs. That's why he quit Growing Pains. He quit normal acting, and he does only Christian movies now. His whole career is biblically based. So, and I think I believe it is, because that movie, from my reading and studying the Revelation,
even in his movie, he made his character. Yes, he was in his movie, but he made his character one of the ones that just didn't, but like
didn't necessarily believe at first.
Yeah, and then he went to the bathroom and he prayed, and then when he went back into
there's a meeting he was covering,
and Nikolai,
and he saw everything as it really happened.
And then everybody was like, "No, dude killed himself," and Nikolai shot the dude in the head. And it was because none of them believed in Jesus, believed in God. So to them, the man just took out a gun and shot himself in the head. When Kirk Cameron character saying that no, Nikolai took the gun and shot dude in the head. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know I'm married.
And even though no one in the White House has been shot and killed, as far as we know,
I haven't heard
we know that they have gone through a major raid and had people fired left and right, or had them resign, or whatever, like no other presidency has ever done. And they seem to have more influence and more power than any other presidency. I don't necessarily see it as Donald Trump having it, but someone in his cabinet has got a lot of power. to get done what he wants done. I won't even say he. It could be a she. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I strongly believe it revolves around Kushner somehow. Because the business they're talking about is 666. And when it's one of the largest buildings.
Yeah, it's the mark of the devil.
And 666 is the mark of the devil.
And
it's not a number you play with.
I don't know. It creeps me out because I can't explain it. I really can't explain it.
Yeah, in case you can't tell, that's serious concern. She is very concerned. I'm very concerned. I may be grinning. But this is not a joking matter. This is a very serious thing. I think anyone that sees this, if you believe in God, you better get on your knees and you better start praying hard that something's going to, because God's revealing something to us.
Yeah, and I'm listening. I'm looking.
I don't know what the message is. I don't know if the true Antichrist is actually here on Earth now. I think he is, by what I've read and studied.
I haven't heard no stories about anybody, because in the movie Nikolai, and I say Nikolai, the Antichrist might not be Nikolai. I'm just saying Nikolai. That's who he was in the movie. That's who he is now. And so in the movie, how they found out who the Antichrist was a man saying that Jesus wasn't real and that the man never broke a bone. He can stab himself and not get hurt, and he can do all the things that Jesus could do. And so he's like, no, I'm God. That's what the dude said. And so I haven't heard nobody yet, like I haven't
claiming
that they cannot get hurt, that they're pretty much Bruce Willis in Unbreakable. I haven't heard anybody being able to withstand pain, breaks, and just immaculate. I don't even remember. Like, I really need to go back and just rewatch it. Know that, to me, that everything is coming to fruition. And like I said, I reference all my thingies that scared me from the Left Behind trilogies and the Seventh Sign. The Seventh Sign was early 90s with Demi Moore, and when Daniel was it Daniel that came down and that lived with her. Okay, well, when she was pregnant, huh?
I didn't watch that one.
You didn't watch Seventh Sign? Okay, well, I think it was Daniel. He came down. I don't remember what his name was. Please do not quote me on that. But the dude came down, and then she had, like, dreams every night of a man saying, would you die for him? And so she didn't know what she was talking about. Like, she didn't know, like, what
it was about, yeah.
What it was about. And it found, like, and she, and then in that, it was the moon, the fish, the locusts, the blood in the water. And so far, I've seen the fish dying. Like here in Tennessee, I seen that the fish died for no apparent reason. They came and they tested the fish. It wasn't nuclear. It wasn't any bacteria in the water. They had no idea. Now all the fish didn't die. It's just I seen it, and this was like a couple of years ago. I want to say 06, 07 when I seen it. And then I have seen when they were saying that all the corn crops that was damaged one year because of locusts and frogs, that I seen that. I don't know if it was here in Tennessee, which it could have been, because if y'all know anything, y'all should know that ethanol, which is made out of corn, right? Made out of corn. I think Tennessee has the biggest cornfields that is that
Besides
of the
Nebraska.
well, what I'm saying, the biggest cornfields that that is growing that special corn that is made for ethanol. Okay, I can only reference Tennessee. Stuff that I seen on the news, stuff that I heard. Okay, so locusts and the fish, and then blood in the water. To me, in the movie, I think they was talking about the war. It was so much war that the water was red because everybody was being killed. And I can't remember what year that was when I seen it, and the water was red, and I tripped out because if y'all know me, that's like my biggest fear. And I have said this story many times that 2000, October of 2000, that I was so, maybe early October, but October of 2000, I was so scared of, and I told the foster people that the foster home is level 1. I told them that my biggest fear is when when the water turns red, that I'm gonna kill myself. Now, I know that if you kill yourself, you will not go to heaven. I do know that. But, like, that goes back to my initial fear is I want to say that I'm strong enough to be left behind to fight in God's army. But I don't know. Right now, I could say yes because I'm not in that situation. I will never deny God. I will never deny God. That I could say. But what I also can say is I don't know if my kids are in danger. I will not deny God. But I don't know what I would do to protect my kids.
If she had to, she's saying if she had to deny God to protect her kids, to keep her kids safe.
Yeah,
that's where she's not sure.
I don't know. I could say if anything was happening to me, I would not deny God. I would not, 100%. But I'm not in a situation that if somebody threatens my kids, or like I would hope that I would not deny God. I would hope that nothing would happen. That's why I said here, bring it down a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If Jesus starts taking people, like I would miss my kids like so much, but in that same aspect, I would want them to be taken because I don't want them to be on earth. And I made a video saying, like, you don't know, you don't know that you're afraid of everything until you have kids. Like everything in the world, like somebody could be like, oh my gosh, red lollipops cause blindness. I am now afraid of red lollipops. You know, if that's the case, like. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything, like, you don't know fear until you have a child. And, you know, I can go back to freaking 2012, early 2013, because I was not a parent. I can say, you know what, I'm afraid of a car wreck. I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. But that means nothing to the fear that you have as a parent, because everything in the world scares you. And it might just be me, but like I know people are afraid. I know people are afraid, and you don't know fear until you're a parent. And I'm not saying that people do not have authentic fears. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a totally different fear. It's a deeper fear. It's a fear that you're like, I never knew I was afraid of whatever until I became a parent. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like the simplest, like what I also said in the video, I don't know if I have my headphones in. I got my JoJo headphones on. They're not plugged in. But I probably was saying that while this was plugged in, because my headphones don't work when they're plugged in. I mean, my camera don't work. Anyhow.
The sound didn't come through when it's plugged in.
Yeah, the sound didn't come through while it was plugged in. It used to, but I don't know. They just stopped. But I was saying that the NASA the gymnastics dude, the gymnastic molester, the volleyball doctor molester, the molester that was, you know, he indirectly affected me because my girls are in gymnastics. They are very good, and yes, I'm a parent, and I'm going to say that, but no, in reality, they have a couple skills higher than their age limit, than their age group, and so that's why I say, and so I really struggled, like with a month and a half, like I was like, I want to take them to gymnastics, but I don't want them to be in gymnastics. I already said I don't want them to go to the Olympics. Like, and that's because this man did what he did and as a skis. It did that for years, for 30 years, I think they said he did that. I am 34, so that means he started preying on kids when I was 4. I'm just saying. And so my kids are 4 right now. And so let's say that he did not get caught. Or let's say that there's Hans Gruber. If y'all haven't seen American Horror Story, you would, I mean, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber, I don't know if that's the man's real name. I'm just saying, the American Horror Story version, I don't know. Anyways, the dude was I'm making tuna sandwiches, Hannah. Hannah, are you ready for your tuna sandwich? Okay, well, get out the refrigerator.
One of our is in here now.
Yeah. Okay, Hans Gruber was a doctor that was doing some of the experiments in the Holocaust. And he got away with it because he came to the United States because he was it a doctor or a scientist? Because, okay, this really happened in real life. After the Holocaust, some of the high intelligent scientists and high intelligent doctors pretty much got a new name. I really think that that's true. If I'm not mistaken, I really do that really happened. So, and in the show, American Horror Story, he was doing experimentations, and on the people at the asylum. What was I getting with that? Okay, well.
Experimented in.
Well, okay, and so this doctor, okay, yeah, that's what I was saying, because, Hitler was the overall, and then Hans was doing experimentations in the Holocaust. That's what I was getting at. And, okay, let's say that Nassar, or whatever his name is, I don't know, I don't remember his name. He's not a doctor. I don't say doctor because he does not deserve that title. Hannah, if you don't stop.
Mommy's doing something. Go.
Please. You got Daddy's phone. Go in the back, please. Thank you.
We'll get you something in just a second.
My thing that I was getting at was...
I know you're hungry.
Okay, let's say Nassar. I'm not saying that he is Hitler. But let's say that he was the Hitler of the thing.
Hans Gruber of it.
Well, okay. Well, no, I'm saying... Well, no, I'm saying... Then somebody that was also doing what Nassar... And they got a pass, and all this now is happening to kids again. And since it's now the Me Too movement, it might turn into something else where if you tell, we will kick you out of the program. Like, I don't know. That's what I'm afraid of. That's why I was saying the Hans Gruber, because he left the Holocaust, and he came over and he became a doctor here in the United States, and he did the exact same experiments that he did back in the Holocaust. So that's why I was getting at with the Hans Gruber thing. I don't know if there's anybody up under his tier that is also doing this to these girls. That's my fear. So that's why I'm like, I don't want my kids to go to the Olympics, and that's not fair to them. And that's why I said he indirectly affected me, because my girls are in the gymnastics. They are in that particular sport, one of the particular sports. I say one because he was a doctor for a couple of different things, or he was a man. I'm not gonna give him that title. I don't care if he went to school. I don't care. I'm not gonna give him that title.
He didn't deserve it.
Because he don't deserve it. You're not the profession that you think you are, because you tainted it. So that's what I'm getting at. I don't want my girls to go to the Olympics, and that's not fair to them, because they work hard day in and day out, flipping, trying to learn new skills, trying to get the skills that they know down, and that's not fair to them. And he don't know me personally, and I don't know him like personally. Never met the man. We haven't even been in the same space, I don't think. Like in the same state. That's what I mean, same space. But because of what he did, now I'm afraid for my girls. And I was seriously about to take them out of gymnastics. And I mean, I don't look at the bad in people. I do not. I give everybody, like, I trust everybody until you give me a reason not to trust you. And him gave me a reason not to trust him. So I'm not saying the gymnastic coaches that is teaching my kids are evil. That's not what I'm saying, because I trust them, because I'm there. I watch, I videotape everything, and I don't videotape because I'm like, oh, something might happen. That's not what I do. We videotape everyone in gymnastics video, in every one of their gymnastics practices, because if they're working on something, we don't know what the name of them are. And so I can type in Google, okay, this is what the skill looks like, but I don't know the name of the skill. And then I point, and so we show the girls, look, this skill, we need you to practice this. That's why we do it. And we also do it because we want Gary's mama to be able to watch the practices, because she's in Florida. She's not here in Tennessee, and so she can't see the practices herself. So that's where I'm getting at. That we videotape their practices, not because we don't trust, but because it's a learning tool for us. But now that this son of a you-know-what have came out with this, like I said, I trust the girls' coaches 100%. I trust everybody until you give me a reason not to trust you. That's how I am. I trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. So it now opened up my eyes to the fact that, okay, maybe I should be looking for signs. And that's not fair to them. That's not fair, because they never did anything to me or my kids that made me had to kind of side eye and squint and make sure, okay, is this happening, or does this look like this? No, I shouldn't be doing that. But as a parent, like I said, everything scares me, and I trust the coaches, and I'm not really side-eye looking at the coaches. I'm kind of now side-eye looking at, I guess they're considered coaches, but it's the younger,
the assistants.
The younger assistants. That's what I'm getting at. And it's not fair to them, because they never did anything to me or my kids, personally. But I side-eye it. And that's not fair. So I forgot what I was.
You're talking about NASA, right? All the things of why you.
Yeah, well, no, I knew NASA, but I don't know how I got there. Because I remember I was talking about Hans Gruber, but anyhow, you can go back. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
anyway,
but yeah, it is a scary thing, and me sitting there telling you to get on your knees and pray It's not that, oh, I think you're a sinner and you're not right with God. That's not what I'm saying. I know all men have sinned and come short of the glory of God. I have, many times. Even recently. But I'm praying constantly. I'm praying daily. And I'm striving to make my life a better life. I want to be closer to God every day. Because I can never be close enough to Him. And I think that's how everyone needs to be. I don't condemn anybody for how they believe or all that. But I believe God is the only God.
Yes.
His Son is Jesus Christ. And His Holy Spirit leads me daily.
Yes.
And that's my belief. And I'm steadfast on that belief. And I agree with Marquita. I would hate, it'd be so upsetting for me if the kids were taken and Marquita was taken. But I'd rather them go at the end of the time and leave me here. Because I believe I'm strong enough. But God's the only one that knows truly whether I am. I know and I believe God will never give us more than we can handle. And He's proven it to me many times. I've been in a really bad wreck. I totaled my car. I got pretty much a head-on collision. My airbags didn't go off. I came out with a little bruise on my ankle. I could easily been killed. But God chose for me to keep living. And He had to have a reason for that. And I seek that reason on a daily basis. I still fail Him many times. But I still seek it. And that's what I want. And I think that's why God, and I believe with all my heart that Marquita is saved. Because I believe that God will reveal to His children what they need to see. And me and her are seeing things daily, and they're increasing exponentially each day. How close we are to the end of time.
People just think that...
And people are going to think we're crazy. That's the worldly way. But I believe that all true believers, without a doubt, if they're in the Bible and they've read it, they know that it's coming. And it's very, very soon. I'm scared to death of it coming. But I'm ready. I'm ready. And I know I've got to prepare for a lot of suffering, because that's what Revelation says we're going to do. We're going to suffer. And if you read Revelation does not say Jesus is going to come back and return His people before all these other things happen. It's at the end, when that last seal's open, that's when He calls His people home.
Yeah, I think a couple... Oh, that's in the blood moon. That one.
Yeah, well, I was going to bring that up too. When she was talking about all these different signs and stuff that she's seen. They have happened. I've seen them too. It also says in there that there'll be a lot of astronomical... I mean, it doesn't exactly say astronomical things, but there'll be a lot of things happening in the heavens at the end of time. Rapidly in succession. Things that's never happened before. we're going to have not one but two blood moons this year. That's what they're saying. We had a blue moon. We're having more and more meteorite showers. We've had a solar eclipse. I think we're supposed to have a lunar eclipse. And maybe even another solar eclipse before the end of this year. If I'm not mistaken, that they said that they're believing it's going to happen. They know already that there is this gigantic asteroid heading this way. They're not sure how soon it's going to come, how soon it's going to hit, or whatever. But if it's coming, I believe it could happen. Now, as far as the moon turning as blood, that very well could mean that what happened recently and what's happening with the blood moon. But my logical way of thinking, the way I see it, and because we know that the Earth is constantly heating up, it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, the greenhouse effect, which of course Donald Trump denies is happening. I know it's happening because I know I've seen several white Christmases, and then we don't really have those anymore. We're pretty much mild. On occasions we'll get a big one, but it's still
and it
mild.
snowed in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and it snowed in Los Angeles just the other day, which is unusual. It might not be that unusual for them to get some snow, but it's not. They don't get that much.
Yeah, like if we're not having snow here in the lower states, in the colder states, and they get snow and they're in the hot state, that's just weird.
Yeah. But anyway, I believe more along the lines of, if our Earth is heating up more and more, I believe the moon is heating up more and more. And because the moon does not have the gravitational pull or the ozone layer that we have, which it does not, then in my logical thinking, I'm thinking that it is going to start heating up and it's going to start becoming like lava. Then it's actually going to start looking like blood. And I think it'll go into the supernova style. And once it catches on fire, then I believe that is the pit of hell, opening up the gates of hell. And it says in the Bible that God's creating a new heaven and a new earth, which to me says that there's no one going to be left on earth because we're going to be too close. So earth is involved in this pit of fire. And everybody says, well, because they talk about the 444,000 people are all that's going to go into heaven. I believe that. I do. If you'll look into history, the true Israel nation consists of about 440,000 people. That is God's people, is Israel. That's His chosen people. They will go to heaven. Jesus is the King of the Gentiles, which is everyone else. I believe the new earth is being created for Jesus' people. And that's who He's going to come after. When He comes and calls His people home, He's bringing them to the new earth. Is my thought. So thank you. Through all my studies and all that I've done on it, that's what I come up with. It may not be, but why else would He be building a new earth? If everyone's going to go to heaven, why do we need a new earth? So, I don't necessarily think that heaven's where I'll be. I think I'll be on the new earth with Jesus, my Lord and King, as my ruler. And that's what my belief is. If you have other beliefs, if you disagree with me, that's okay. You have your opinions. I have mine. And I'm not saying mine's 100% correct. But I do know that I love God, I love Jesus, and I will be with them. And if you have any other opinions, any other thoughts on that, feel free to comment below. But keep it in a nice manner. I'm not condemning you. You don't condemn me. Or Marquita. But everybody has their own beliefs. None of which anybody knows is 100% right. Hold on. I'm coming. So, yes. Go in there. I'll be in a minute. Sorry. I'm talking. Go. Anyway, like I was saying, if you have any other beliefs, you have anything you want to comment on, by all means, please do. Comment below. Subscribe if you like what we're talking about and our agreement with it. Don't subscribe. Whatever. But if you like it, please let us know you like it. Because we have other thoughts on this. We could discuss more if you would like for us to. Comment that below too. We'll have an online Bible study if that's what you want. We would be glad to do that. But as I was saying, do like, subscribe if you wish. Give us any comments you have. Send your friends, your relatives, whatever. If you like what we've said, you kind of agree with it, by all means, send them to this. Let them hear it. Get their side. The more people that hear it, the more that are going to be prepared. If you believe that we're at end time. Well, like I said, we may not be 100% correct on our theories of what it's going to be like, because no man knows exactly when the end of time will be. No man knows exactly what it's going to be like. But we've got a Bible that sits there and tells us some things to look for. And we have looked. One of the key signs is, of course, the 666, the mark of the beast. And clearly, Kushner likes that number. Because he's promoting a business with that number. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I got my food ready. Girls are in there waiting on me. Getting antsy because they want me back in there with them. They're always afraid I'm going to leave them. But I hope you like this. We can make a series of it if we need to. It started out as a rant. And that's mainly what it was. Over Kushner. But it's led into a more in-depth godly thing. It's creating a study lesson for everyone that fears the same thing we do. Feel free to, like I said, comment below. Let us know if you want us to do more studies and give more of our theories or our thoughts on the different things. We're open to any comment, any suggestions. But anyway, y'all have a great day. May God bless you and keep you all safe. Bye.